Hi there everyone and welcome. My name's Kareth. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Today's recipe is for another meal in a jar. This one is a soup and I'm calling it French onion gnocchi soup. I first saw the recipe on either All Recipes or Taste of Home. I can't remember, but I thought, ooh, that sounds yummy. And let me see if I can convert it into a shelf-stable recipe. And so that's what I've done here. It's kind of a cheater version of a French onion soup because we're not caramelizing onions for 25 minutes here. And also it uses gnocchi instead of the bread round that gets bruleed at the end. There's gnocchi in there and it is a rich soup. It's satisfying and we are going to get some of those same yummy flavors, but just a little bit different here, okay? First of all, we're starting with a pint-sized jar, and I am putting 1/4 cup of butter powder in the bottom because that butter flavor is really important. And then the espagnole sauce is going in, which, by the way, that's on sale right now for the Black Friday sale. That's like a rich beef gravy kind of. It's a very good flavor in there. And I've got a copycat recipe on my channel if you need that. And the star of the recipe is the onion slices, of course. Thrive Life has amazing freeze-dried onion slices. If you don't have those, you could use the chopped onions, but maybe cut the amount in half. The seasonings in here are very simple. Garlic, salt, pepper, and freeze-dried thyme. I use the Litehouse brand of freeze-dried thyme. You could use dried thyme. You might cut that amount in half. All right, so not a lot of ingredients here. I am going to top this with cheese. And I don't have Gruyere that's freeze-dried, but I do have mozzarella. So I've got mozzarella and Parmesan in there. Don't worry if you don't have the Parmesan. The mozzarella is going to be good on its own. So these are the jars that you could keep stored on your pantry shelf. If you try this recipe and you like it, you could assemble several of these at a time. Whenever you're ready to make this recipe, it's really easy. It is a just add water recipe, even though I have some optional add-ins here I'll show you in a minute. I would start with the mozzarella or the cheese jar. Add you some water to that jar and then just give it a good shake. You can refrigerate that while you cook the soup and it will be refreshing or rehydrating as the soup cooks. That's a 2-quart soup pot I've got there. You just empty the jar into the pot and add about 6 cups of water. Give it a good stir and turn that heat to medium high. You'll want to bring this to a boil. And since this is not a traditional way of making French onion soup, I did add some sugar to the recipe if you notice that, just because I miss the sweetness that comes from caramelizing the onions. So I did add that back in. I also added just a little bit of wine. Any kind of wine would do. I had just a little bit of white wine there. I think that flavor is a really nice addition because in French onion soup, you traditionally put something like that in the soup. Now, once you bring it to a boil, you can go ahead and reduce your heat down to a medium or so. You do want to continue the boil, and you'll simmer this for about 20 minutes because you want your onions really nice and tender. So this is what I deal with in the kitchen when I'm trying to film. I've got Cowboy, my daughter's little puppy. He is very active and he's so cute. But yeah, sometimes he just is very interested in my tripod and my camera. He's so sweet, y'all. Okay, every once in a while you might check on the cheese, give it a stir or a good shake. Mine was kind of sticking there on the sides and on the bottom, so I got my spoon in there and I decided to give it a good stir. But that water will be refreshing that cheese, and you want it completely refreshed by the time you top the soup with it, or else it'll just burn in the oven. So that's no bueno. Make sure it's good and rehydrated. All right, after about 20 minutes of simmering, you can add the package of gnocchi. And if you haven't had gnocchi before, it's a potato dumpling. It's a really soft and kind of pillowy little dumpling. And those are shelf stable, so I really do like using the gnocchi in my soups. You can just store the gnocchi alongside your jar. The gnocchi needs to cook for about 3 minutes, and as it cooks, it will float. It will rise to the top. And after about 3 minutes, it should be ready to serve up. You can taste it and check for seasonings. I added a pinch of salt to mine. You want to put your soup into an oven-safe ramekin and then top it with the cheese and brulee it or broil it for a few minutes. Get a little color on that. And then it's ready. Isn't it beautiful? I put just a sprinkling of thyme on the top. And y'all, it smelled so good. There's really nothing quite as cozy and satisfying as a warm bowl of soup on a cold day. And this easy version of French onion gnocchi soup has that wonderful, beefy, flavorful broth, those pillowy, soft potato dumplings. And whatever you do, don't skimp on the cheese. This soup is supposed to be rich and decadent. And you can brulee that until it's ooey, gooey, and melted. It's a very satisfying soup. Yeah, it's really delicious. I'll include the full recipe as well as my shopping link in the description box below in case you want to try this recipe or if you need to order any of the ingredients for it. I'll also include my website where you can pick up a copy of my cookbook. I have an ebook. It's 112 pages and full of over 90 recipes of meals in jars from my YouTube channel. It's a great buy. I have everything in there from breakfast to soups to mains to breads and desserts. Lots of good recipes for you. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate you. I hope y'all have a fantastic Thanksgiving. A very, very happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I'm thankful for you. Y'all be blessed. And until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.